Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. In this video, I'm going to show you some cards, but I'm going to talk about the National Baseball Card Convention that we were at this past weekend. And this is probably going to be one of two videos. I'm going to do a separate video to show my pickups at the show, and also tell you a story about an autograph that I got and picked up at the show. And this one, I'm going to show you a few cards, but I'm going to tell you kind of how I picked up a little bit of cards before the show. I'm going to tell you what I thought, some of my thoughts about the show in general, and then I'm going to finish it with some cards that I picked up on the way home. And so it kind of goes like this. First of all, I'm going to show you some cards that I picked up from Baseball Collector before the show. He had some cards returned from PSA grading that he was not going to keep in his inventory. And even though we compete on Showcase Showdown, he has an idea of what some cards I need for some player runs, and I in turn know some of what his needs are. Even though we're competitive, we look out for each other, and I'm going to show you some cards here that I picked up from Mike. And I'm not going to make this a long video, so I might be a little quick on showing some cards. So this is all before the show. Mike knew that I needed Jim Kaat as far as running. There's a 1965 Jim Kaat. That's a beautiful looking card. I'm going to try to keep the glare from you. I got this 61 Gil Hodges from Mike. And what this also did, I believe it probably gave him a little bit of extra money to spend at the National. Of course, he didn't need too much because he picked up quite a bit. Here's a 74 Billy Williams, just in case we do that run on a Showcase Showdown. And then this is an 86 Ted Simmons for the Ted Simmons run that I'm working on. So here I'm trying to save some pickups, save some money, and I know I'm going to pick up a ton of cards at the National. But it's hard not to pick up some cards from a friend that you know you're going to need later on anyway. So those are nice to pick up. The National, I had a blast, but listen, to get there and all that stuff was very tough. One day from the National, one day before we left to go get on the road to go to the National, our reservations got canceled at the Comfort Inn. Now, they told us they had a water main break, and all the people on the bottom floor that was reserved on the bottom floor had to find some other place. So we're scurrying around trying to find another place, and we can't find anything within 30 or 40 miles. My wife has some kind of program that she can see if there's anything open, for the days that we needed within 30, the closest ones. And it was getting 30 and 40 miles out, and I didn't know what we were going to do because I was heading there with 4 friends. Billy Ballgame was going with me. Tom and Brent, who had gone with me to Strongsville earlier in the year, and Brent's son Cameron. And now Tom and Billy had their place reserved at the RL, whatever that thing's called. And I had mine reserved there at one time too, like really early, but they canceled that reservation because the property was sold and the reservations somehow weren't good. So we were lucky to find the Comfort Inn, but then now we got to find another place because the Comfort Inn now has canceled us. So with me and Brent and Cameron looking for a place to stay, we were saved by Matt the Card Story and his crew. I'm not going to name them all, but Theo and Jason and John 3D80s Kid. And they just opened their rooms up to Brent and Cameron and I. And what could have been probably 13 people ended up being about 16 people at one time. But again, I wasn't happy that my rooms were canceled, but it would have really been a mess had not Matt put on a Superman cape and allowed and contacted everybody and said, "Hey, we're going to bring in 3 more into the fold." And I think that's actually what the community does. And it wasn't the best sleeping arrangements for me. I think I shrunk 4 inches after sleeping on a futon. I got on a broken one, and luckily Matt was the only one to see me. But we had a great time with everybody, and man, I really appreciate them letting me on. But the whole time was really good. I was walking around early, and a couple, and I'm not going to get everybody all these correct because meeting so many people at the show, but this couple, and what's funny is I'm glad I'm doing this one first, but I believe the lady's name is Wendy, and her husband contacted me or met up with me on the showroom floor. And what a great looking couple, and Wendy's a gorgeous lady, and we got along really well, and you could tell that they watched content a lot. And so I invited them to the meet and greet, and they showed up and had a good time talking to everybody. And I know all the YouTubers just kind of gave them their time, and I know they were satisfied. But anyway, I hope they see this and kind of reach out, because I would like to talk to them at a later date. What good people. And then I received cards from Ed Westergriff, and a longtime content creator, and been around this for a long time, and it just kind of caught me by surprise, and it was really cool. And I'm going to show this to you. He knew that I was a Royals fan by watching, and he sent me, and I'm not going to even show all of it. Here's a George Brett that he gave me. And here is a Mike Moustakas rookie card. And then here is an autograph of an Eric Hosmer. Now that is really special to me. It's special to me that a long-time content creator, and has been around doing videos for a while, knows what I collect, and just humbles me, and I really appreciate that. And then at the same get together, a lurker named Tom from Ohio sent me this, and I don't mean sent me. He gave me this, and it's going to be hard to show, but what this is, it's an autograph of George Foster that he got in spring training. And he wanted me to have it in my collection. And then the other thing, I'm going to get this out of the bag here, is he gave me an autograph signed of George Foster on a baseball. And I just love it. Just love it. Now, there was some guys that came and I didn't write down their names and stuff, and gosh, I wish I would have, but you just don't have time when you're at some of those meet and greets. And but a guy said that he's not a lurker, he's a consumer, and he takes in, and we had a blast. We took a group photo. That was fun, seeing everybody there, and it was bigger than last year. And I thought last year there was 250 YouTubers in Chicago at the Thursday night meet and greet that Mike Baseball Collector puts on. And there was more this year. And the American Legion Hall took care of us. They did a great job. And as going along there, one of the great commenters, and now he's doing videos, Mookie Chilson, gave me this. And he gave me this. I'm amazed. This is a George Brett rookie card. Now, what would have made this more precious to me is if it had a pinhole in it. And everybody that watches Mookie's channel knows that he has a really neat pinhole collection. that meet and greet was very special to me, and all those, all the get together and stuff. And what made Cleveland tough for me is the fact that there were so many YouTubers there and so many people that watch YouTube that it was hard to give your time, give people enough of your time. You think you might be in rude. There was, I got to see and talk to a lot of people, but I really wanted to spend some more precious time with some people. But any time is good time, and good time amongst friends. And then last but not least, one of the gifts that I received was at our not VRBO, but the house we stayed in, where it was supposed to seat 12 people or accommodate 12 people, but we had 15 people in there. But this was one of them. Now, I got this from John 3D 80s Kid, and I get the joke, and everybody, a lot of other people that stayed there got this, and that was really cool. And I have a Mr. Rogers card in my collection now. The show itself was great. There's some things that should have wrecked my weekend. I didn't get much sleep. I ate terrible for a fat guy. The show getting in and out of was tough. But there's some things other venues can learn from Cleveland. The layout and the size of the place, and there's a lot of things. And I'm going to refuse to criticize right now. And nothing swayed my time that I had. The time that I had in the house with the people was fun, joking back and forth. My ride too was great. So I'm going to show you a few cards that I picked up on the way home. So on the way home with Brent and Billy and Tom and Cameron, Brent wrote me a check for $200. Tom got some cards out as we were driving, and I decided he was, selling some cards and having fun doing it. I decided to pick up some cards. He sold me this Don Drysdale for my player run. He sold me this Willie Mays for my player run. And another Don Drysdale. And another Jim Cott. How about a Tony Perez? A Bob Gibson? And a rookie Robin Yount. Now remember, I told you that Brent wrote me a check for $200 for something that he owed me. Well, I signed that check over because these cards magically cost me $200. So we acted all week long. I got to act like I was in a college fraternity, back to having a celebration, back acting like a 20-year-old kid. I loved all the people that came up and talked to me, met me on the show, took pictures. I loved the house and the fellowship that we had there. I loved the show itself, and I especially liked the people I rode with, and were looking forward to doing it again soon. Now I'm going to do another video sometime coming up when I am less tired, and I'm going to show you my pickups. Well, until then, I know I missed some people. Please reach out and message if we talked in at length on the showroom floor or anywhere else, so I can end up getting your address and maybe we can correspond throughout this year until next year. So until my next video, remember, guys, it's just a hobby. Collect what you like.